All right, so enhanced conversion for leads import. The goal, the purpose, the whole idea of this enhanced conversion for lead imports is that we're collecting all the data on the customer, right? So we're collecting phone calls, form fields. With the phone calls, we qualifying the phone call in the call rail and then re-importing the qualified leads back to Google Ads. The problem is that we cannot do the same with forms, right? So the forms, there is no way we can qualify forms in call rail, but there is no functionality to re-import only qualified forms back to Google Ads. Most likely they're going to have something like that, but so far we have only built-in Google functionality for offline conversion imports. There are several ways you can import, qualify, your CRM data back to Google Ads. The one is using GCLID as a key for the import data back to Google Ads, and then another one is using hashed email and phone number of the customer, instead of GCLID. Hashed email and phone number of the customer is superior solution, right? Because a lot of times there is no way to capture GCLID on a form submission. For example, if client went to the website via Google, returned to the website via Facebook, there is no information available to capture in the form, right? So GCLID method is, inefficient, prone to mistake, and there are multiple issues. There is no GCLID on iPhones, for example. So the superior solution is enhanced conversion for leads import. So the whole dialog for the enhanced conversion for leads located in conversions, tools and settings, conversions. Then we have uploads, and then we're going to have this dialogues here. Variety of templates. So here's variety of templates, how we can import data back to Google Ads. So we're interested in this one here, conversion from clicks, enhanced conversion for leads. In order for that to work, prerequisite would be to collect email and pass it to Google Ads on event of the form submission, on event on initial form submission. Because for Google need to have this key where we can link the data from our CRM back to Google Ads, right? And the key is email of the customer. Email of the customer, phone number of the customer is optional. So enhanced conversions, we're going to discuss in separate video because it's a separate topic on how to set it up. If you want to, on majority of our accounts, I already set it up, so we already have it. Just to make sure that it is there, we have to go to conversions, settings, and then this stuff has to be checked. Enhanced conversion has to be checked, and we have to go to Google Tag Manager and make sure that email, the user data, email, phone number, and address, if applicable, this customer data is collected in Google Tag Manager and passed to Google on the form submission event, right? That's a prerequisite. So then after we make sure that it works, then we go and create the template. So here's a template, right? So here's a template of that we already have. So that's pretty straightforward. So the complicated part here is to communication with customers, developer, to get this essentially 5 columns into this table, right? We can we can get data into the spreadsheet pretty much from any table. It can be CSV file, XML file. It can be SQL table, pretty much any sort of data format. We can technically get the data to the spreadsheet and then pass it to Google. Right. So all we need is talk to developer directly. That's a main problem that I find with this setup. Good communication with developer, explain them what we need, and try to get the live file from them. The file is supposed to have only qualified leads, right? And that would be email, phone number optional, conversion name. We can put whatever conversion name we want. For example, qualified lead. Conversion time is a timestamp of the qualification of the lead. That's the most common error that for one reason or another, the timestamp was wrong, and we cannot have our qualification timestamp before or too close to our initial form submission event timestamp, right? It has to be apart. So there are a variety of different hacks we can use, like for example, just add one day to all the qualification timestamps, and then that's will eliminate most of the issues. But ideally, we want to have the actual, qualification when person got qualified, right? As soon as possible, right? Because if there is a significant delay, that will, the idea is to have data on qualified conversion to our bidding models as soon as possible, right? The faster we get it, the more efficient the bidding strategy is. So if you go get it after 7 days, might as well not get it, right? So we need to get it as soon as person is qualified. This row has to be populated into the spread. The data has to be pushed to whatever file developer agrees to give it to us, and then we populate it into the spreadsheet. So conversion rate. Nicole?
Should we have a video where we give instructions to the developer too on what we need them to do?
The thing is that I never had standard situation with developers.
It's different.
So, yeah, with all developers, there is all kind of different CRMs, all kind of different websites. So you basically go talk to developer, explain them situation. Most of the time they don't understand what the heck you want, and you kind of have to like just show them the spreadsheet and tell them what this and this. There are a lot of pushbacks. Sometimes there is a pushback, or we don't want to share customer data with Google. Now the customer data with Google is already shared, right? This ship is sailed already, right? Here we just sending, the customer data. All the customer data are being shared at the moment of the form submission, right? Or all we're doing here in this stage is qualifying customers that we already have in Google Ads track,
right?
With all the personal information already populated. So all we need to do is just basically qualify, and we're using the email of the customer, hashed email of the customer, as a key. So they don't have to hash it. There is a script built into the spreadsheet. You see there are like short instructions on how to set it up, super easy. And so I usually use Supermetrics, so that's the solution that I use. Supermetrics, that's a Google Ads extension. I'm using Supermetrics for grabbing the data from developer, like from the whatever format developer has it in, right? Can be anything. I connected pretty much to everything possible, as long as there are 4 columns, 5 columns, right, or even 3 columns, right? Like what we really need, the minimum requirement is populate email, qualified lead, and the conversion time. That's it. That's a bare minimum that we need, right? And conversion time, that's the most difficult one for whatever reason. So it really takes a lot of weeks of communication sometimes to get the qualified timestamp, like when the person was qualified timestamp right, because of the server time zones are off, or they don't understand which timestamp to put there or whatever. So it needs some back and forth. So to answer your question about recording the video to the developer, that's probably unachievable, unfortunately. That would be something that we have to, hands on, I think.
On the spot. Yeah.
Yeah. So in another piece of, the qualified is good. The past qualified data is good, but ultimately we want to have, if applicable for the customer, we want to have return on not spent reports and return on not spent billing, right? That's a holy grail of Google Ads campaign when you optimize for money generated from the account, right? So that's a bare minimum, that's a holy grail, right? Conversion value is a dollar amount that lead generated.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah. So far at this stage into 2023, I was never able to. No, I have a customer that actually, yeah. I have a customer that pushes conversion value. Yes, I just set it up recently, and it's amazing. That's, as good as it sounds. It is a holy grail. You can optimize lead generation customer for conversion value. The thing is that you need like really high lead volume, right? So you need to have, so to switch to it's the same logic, right? You want to have at least one conversion a day to switch to qualified conversion optimization, and you need to have like 5-10 conversions with value to switch to ROAS bidding a day. So yeah, what do you think?
This reminds me of when we would do it for lookalikes. And we would sort by conversion value and create lookalikes around that, or return on ad spend. But this is of course more efficient, or not efficient, but I'm sure it performs better over time.
But this is not for customer lists. This is, you can technically create customer lists off of your offline conversion events. Yeah, but that's not just the customer list. It's way better than that. It also conversion events. So you go when we have that in place, you have qualified conversion event here, right? Qualified conversion. And you go to Google Ads. Then you create your new conversion, right? You have your other data, track conversion from clicks, and you create your conversion qualified lead, right? It has to be the same as the here as the conversion name on this field, and you can actually pass multiple conversions here on the same spreadsheet. For example, you can have qualified conversion, like person who good quality but didn't sell, and you can pass sale with value and USD, right?
Nice.
So you can have multiple conversion events, and then you have qualified lead, qualified conversion. I hate it's just don't do that. It's a qualified lead. name conversion doesn't make sense. Okay, so let's do qualified lead, and then yeah, that's it. Well, if whatever is applicable, that's here. One. Well, it's not going to work because we don't have any imports, but the idea is to have the spreadsheet populated, and then connected via upload, and then let's say the conversion will be populated. Is going to be here and here, and you can create dedicated campaigns just for qualified lead conversions.
Nice.
And then, the big advantage of that is that you can create performance max campaigns that do not just generate junk, but focus on qualified leads only. You can create demand gen campaigns with the discovery substitute, focused on qualified conversion only. You can, the whole account, if you have enough conversion volume, can be just pointed for the qual. You're basically making from the lead generation account, you have your equivalent of e-commerce account where you're optimizing for qualified sales, qualified conversions, or actual offline sales with value.
Great, that's really advanced. I had a quick question regarding the Supermetrics portion. So basically, once you're onboarded with the developer to get the information from the website, would this be updating that data in real time automatically through the script, or is it something that is manual?
Yeah, so you get some sort of file, some sort of data, organized data from developer. So you look, for example, we can do database, right? You can connect to database, and it's pretty easy, right? You just have to put the password, select the table, and you can pull the data from some sort of, for example, WordPress table into the spreadsheet. You can do JSON, CSV, XML. You can do any sort of data source, right? To pull it here. Again, database, whatever. And then there is a more expensive version of Supermetrics. I'm not there yet to pay for that. That imports every hour.
Oh, wow.
But this one imports every day, every 24 hours on schedule. And Supermetrics is optional. If developer can create clean file, you technically don't need Supermetrics. But you need to have, it's not just you have to create clean file and you have to hash the email, right? The email has to be hashed before you sending it to Google, before you uploading it to Google. So if you import data to Google spreadsheet, via Supermetrics, or maybe developer can populate, themselves, depending on the, level of intellectual capacity, they can totally populate the spreadsheet directly without Supermetrics, and then or they can, we can hook up directly to the file too, right? The spreadsheet is just an option, right? So see uploads here. You can, CSV, Excel, you have these options there. Yeah, it's a variety of different options. But you cannot, one thing, why the spreadsheet typically? Because developers for the lower budget clients, they're usually not that advanced. But customer, low budget or not, they have some sort of spreadsheet where they track their leads, right? So all we have to do is just hook up to the spreadsheet, either within the CRM or maybe that they have Google spreadsheet or whatever, any sort of stuff that we can filter, pick out the qualified leads only, pick out the any sort of estimated timestamp and the email of the customer, and get this data into the spreadsheet, hash it with the app extension, and then push it back to Google Ads.
Got it. Understood.